everyone, Kat here, your favorite ginger bibliophile. I hope you're all doing really well. And if you're new here, hi, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy it. And if you're coming back, well, hi, thanks for visiting again. So I've got a fun one for you today. Well, it's a bit of a rant, but it is kind of fun. So I've been trying to, read through my books and compare them to some movies. And I told y'all last time that it's actually a Disney movie, but not one you normally think of when you think Disney. And so for today's page to screen, discussion, we've got The Three Musketeers. And the movie version that I grew up on is the 93 Disney one with, Charlie Sheen and Chris O'Donnell and some other folks. But I loved that movie. I know this is blasphemy to say, but I didn't finish the book. It's the Three Musketeers. They're the title characters. They're the heroes, right? They're a bunch of pricks, and I hated them. Honestly, out of all the bad guys, the Cardinal was the best behaved one. So, yeah. Like, it takes place in, the same time. The theme is the same that, hey, D'Artagnan wants to become a musketeer, and so he leaves home to go try to be one. And, gets into these duels over the stupidest reasons, which is actually kind of what they do in the movies. You bumped into me. You said this. You made a comment about my, outfit. Dive! And doesn't realize that the people he picked fights with were musketeers. Well, actually, no, I take that back. In the book, he knows that they're musketeers. In the movie, he doesn't realize who they are because they're just like random dudes that he runs into on his way. He still picks fights with them over the same stupid reasons, but Also, really, you're gonna try to kill a guy because he bumped into you and said, "Excuse me"? Though in the movie, he was more hot headed. In the book, he was actually semi polite about like his apologizing, knowing that he had done something kind of bad. He starts off good until he becomes friends with the musketeers because they get accosted by the cardinal's guards, and it's a duel to the death, and he decides to fight on the musketeers side and does really well for himself. And then he gets influenced by them, and they are a bunch of drunken, womanizing, using, just stuck up pieces of crap. Like, I'd have to do some research, see if that was just the way that the author is, or if it's a combination of the time period, what, but they're just a bunch of sexist, drunken pricks that have, I don't work, but women's whole, point of existing is to sleep with me and give me her husband's money so that I can afford to drink more. And if they don't, well, then I'm just going to trash them. And in the movie, the cardinal is the undisputed bad guy. The king is the good guy. The musketeers are the heroes. D'Artagnan, of course, becomes one, and gets the girl that he was crushing on because she's riding with the queen and thought she was cute and innocent, and she kind of flirts with him, and they all do their whole thing. And this, not so much. Like, Constant is the queen's maiden, and the cardinal does want to get rid of them, but he just wants to get rid of the queen because he's a sexist, xenophobic prick. The king couldn't care less. Like, the king actually, like, he doesn't like the cardinal because, well, the cardinal has power too, and I'm the king, I'm the best thing in the world, and I really don't care what my wife thinks so long as she thinks that I'm the best. Like, I don't care if she does something wrong and is betraying me, but she better think I'm the best and not be in love with another man, because that implies I'm not the best thing ever. And so the cardinal tries to set her up that of, she's not in love with you and I can prove it, but I'm not going to tell you that because I want you to look stupid and prove that she doesn't think you're the best. And, like, they go off and all this crap, and D'Artagnan he's in love with every girl that he sees. And their whole, women should be kept in their place like their servants and beaten half to death so that they don't dare to ask for wages or do anything. You're supposed to like the heroes of the book. how do you get into something where you hate everybody because a few good characters are like the bad guys, or they never get much screen time? It's kind of like, Athos is like, he's kind of the older, like dark, drunk, mysterious, past, mature one, right? He's the really good, knowledgeable one. In the book, if he had managed to, consummate things, he'd be in jail for messing with children, and then tried to kill his wife because he was better than him when he finally, saw everything. Yeah, that is the level that our, heroes are at. And the evil chick, yeah, Lady De Winter in the movies is supposed to be bad. Not as bad as others, but, bad. I was freaking rooting for her in this book. What little that we got of her, oh, I was all for it. She was my favorite. She might have been the villain, but she ain't the villain. Not by a long shot. She just ain't taking nobody's crap anymore. So, yeah. This is a case of I cannot say that this book is amazing. You should totally read it. I was excited. I love the movie. It's Three Musketeers. It's gonna be sword fights and action and smart alecky one-liners and comedy and a good time. I didn't like anybody in this book except for the folks that barely got to be in the book. I made it about halfway after several weeks of struggling through this, and just I've read enough of this to know my thoughts on it. No, some scenes are like the movies, and I could recognize them and picture them in my head, and then the rest I'm like, yeah, this book got the full on like Pocahontas treatment of, yeah, if we went by the book, we'd have to give this to another studio and another, rating, and probably could not make this movie, especially today, because they're not going to get away with some of the crap that they pull on women, especially as heroes in their 40s marrying a 16-year-old because she was hot when she walked by. Yeah. So, yep. If you can get through it, more power to you. It's interesting in theory. There is a lot of action and sword fighting going on. And every time you're like, all right, it's going to get better. They're going to get their act together and be the heroes, and it's kind of going to be like the movie. There's just another layer of intrigue and politics and more reasons why you hate the guys that you're supposed to be rooting for. And I just cannot get into a book where I don't really have anyone that I see on most of the pages that I can root for. Instead, I'm rooting for, please let the bad guy win. These, good guys need to be taken down a peg. Like the Musketeers, at least the ones that we see, are basically like your frat boy self-proclaimed nice guys that wonder why women don't want them. Or, anybody that calls himself an alpha. That would be the heroes of this book. So, yep, it's a classic. It's a book. And I say go watch the movie. Any version of it. I grew up on the 93 version. I've seen a couple others. They've all been way better than the book, too. So, do with that what you will. Probably avoid this. And, yeah, I've got another one planned. And thankfully, I don't feel bad in saying this. I like the book better than the movie for once on the next one. And if you're curious what that is, stick around. I will get to it soon. Bye. Happy watching.